If I was to say real men don't cry, and you have a think about that, what does that mean for a young boy growing up, a young teenager, someone in their late teens, or a man? When you try to hold down emotions, what happens is that you become vulnerable to them bursting out of you at some point. Ultimately, it's about engaging men in the conversation during Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month, which is May. A lot of the time men aren't engaged in domestic and family violence. Then we wanted to get creative about it, so we built a box.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nambour Community Centre YouTube channel. It's been a while. Today I have a very special guest star at the Orange Lounge, Mr. Nick Burns. Woo! Come on down, Nick. Nick's one of our family's support workers here at Nambour Community Centre in the Thriving Families team. And today we're here to talk about Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month.
Yep.
And Nick's really great project that he's been working on. Would you like to chat a little bit about that project, Nick?
Yeah, thanks, Anna. Thanks for having me on the orange couch.
Woohoo! Somebody's got to be on it.
Yeah, so it's a real privilege actually to be able to have this project going for the month. And so the idea is that the project's called Men Bringing Change. So ultimately, it's about engaging men in the conversation during Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month, which is May, the month we're in now. And we wanted to come up with a creative way to engage men in this conversation. A lot of the time, men aren't engaged in Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month and the conversations that are happening in that time. So we created this project and we wanted to get creative about it. So we built a box. Should I show them? Should I show them the
Have
box?
You got it here?
I've got the box here.
Oh my goodness. Would you like to see the box? I think it would be a great idea. So bring on the box.
So here it comes. So this is the box.
Woohoo! Check it out.
It's got things written on the outside of it, which you might be able to read there.
So here I've got real men don't cry. You better take control. Grow some balls. Wait until your dad gets home.
Yeah.
All of these kinds of things that I think we've grown up with.
Yeah, very
grown
familiar.
Through in Australian
Very
culture.
familiar.
What else have we got, Nick?
I've got on my side, just man up. Men must be strong. We've got one here, you throw, run, hit like a girl. So really, some of these sayings are really familiar to us in our culture, and they're really actually negative expectations that men grow up with. They're in our cultural conversations there. And I know men, when I've been taking this box to various places around the Sunshine Coast community, are using the words that they're saying, this is really familiar. These phrases are really familiar to me. And also some men saying, I use those phrases with my children. You know?
How, with this, can we call it, it's like a type of cultural conditioning, isn't it?
Yeah,
really.
that's right.
Men have grown up, or like men are using those words with their children. And then how does that then play out and lead to being a part of this domestic and family violence issue that we have, Nick? What sort of ways does it play out?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Anna, because there is a link between these negative cultural expectations that hover in our cultural context. So, for instance, let me just give you a suggestion. If I was to say real men don't cry, and you have a think about that, what does that mean for a young boy growing up, a young teenager, someone in their late teens, or a man?
It means, well, when I hear that, I just think, let's suppress our emotions. Let's not feel. Let's man up and just get on with the business, but then it's not giving a person an opportunity to feel what it is to be human, to connect with some of those more gentler or I don't want to say, I know, just emotions, connecting with emotions,
yeah,
which is
right.
human.
Emotions is the key. So when you try to hold down emotions, what happens is that you become vulnerable to them bursting out of you at some point. So for men, often their safest place is in their house. And so if they're trying to be this type of man that's written on all outside of this box, all these stereotypes, these expectations, be strong, don't cry, man up, get in control, be powerful. If you're subscribing to that and yet inside of you, it means that you're suppressing your emotions, that you're not letting them out. When you get into a safe place, often that's where it leaks out of you. Because you can't just hold stuff in all the time. It's too difficult. We're not created and made that way. We're made to express how we feel as human beings. And so then the potential of men that subscribe fully to these negative expectations that are sown to us in our culture, if men subscribe to that and try to be that, the potential to get close to domestic and family violence or be a person that uses domestic and family violence is statistically sky high. So there's a direct connection between those things and domestic and family violence.
And sometimes within I guess here, when with all of these sayings that are stuck to the box, they're we can talk about that within an Australian cultural context. Here on the Sunshine Coast, we have a lot of different communities, people from different cultural backgrounds. And how does this work within a multicultural context?
Yeah, look, it's a great question, and I'm not an expert in multicultural or other cultures, but I know that at the end of the day, we need to deal with violence in our families.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're a white Australian or what cultural background you come from, there is a propensity in men to be violent in their family. Yeah, it's a man problem. And look, it's a really complex issue in our culture. There's a lot of different things that happen. There's a lot of different ways domestic and family violence happens. So really trying to go, hey, men out there, we need to understand and know that we can be part of this conversation that changes our culture. So
we love that.
Part of the box isn't just about going, hey, there's all these things wrong around our cultural expectations in Australia for Australian men. But that's only one part of it. The other part is that we are taking this box to different places and we're saying to people in community, so I've been to some men's groups, I've been to some groups here at the Nambour Community Centre, taken it out and about, different community centres. And the question is, what characteristics can men bring to our community that makes it safer for family and our general community members? So that's the big question, I think, that needs to be addressed by men, but also by our community. So we're asking people to actually give us input into what they think those characteristics might be. So as part of our project, we have a slot in the top of the box, and I'm getting people to actually fill out what their aspiration for men is in community, how they would love men to be in order for it to be a safer place.
Wonderful, love it.
So we're getting all this feedback put into the box, and at the end of our project, which will happen next Wednesday night,
right,
we are going to have all of that feedback made into a collage.
Love it.
Have an art type installation,
Fantastic.
Hopefully a big man-sized box. And we're going to have a men's event, and we're going to ask men to engage with what the community says they would like from men.
Wow, that sounds amazing, Nick.
Yeah, so we've got these inbuilt community expectations, which often are quite negative. But we want to say, hey, what's our our Sunshine Coast community, what are they saying they want? So we were going to challenge men to replace the negative with what the community actually wants and says they love men to be.
When you talk about the community and the people putting things in here, are they men who are putting the suggestions in?
Yeah, so we've got mixed. So men definitely. So I've taken this box to some men's groups and got them to put their feedback in there for each other. But I've also got general community members putting in, women, young, old, teenagers, asking people to, what is it you would like to see men bring to the community to make it safe? And
have you got a sneak peek on any of them? Can you share any, or is that all under the veil that will be unveiled?
I'll share one. I'll share one with you actually. I know it was quite profound for me. I had the box at the Caloundra Community Centre. There's a plug. And
hope you're watching, Caloundra people.
And a guy came, an older gentleman came who I'm pitching in around maybe the 80s to 90s age bracket.
Wow.
He saw the box, but he had a pair of really dark glasses on, like maybe that he was vision impaired. He couldn't see very well. And he asked me about the box. And I explained, like I've just explained to the viewers here. And he said to me, I said, do you want to write something down to put in the box? And he said, I can't see to write. And I said, well, I'll write something for you if you tell me. So I got my pen out and he stood for a moment, this old white Australian gentleman, and he said, can you write that men need to bring calm strength?
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It's really powerful, Anna, because, see, some of the strong stuff on the outside of the box is coming from a negative perspective, but when you put the word calm strength, the calm strength is actually a beautiful thing that men can bring to our community. You know, that is such a powerful gift to our community.
It's like an inner strength,
yeah,
isn't it? And it's like the rock. Well, the rock may not be a good metaphor, but it feels that grounded.
Very grounded, yeah. It's not impulsive or aggressive, or it's not muscles and chest out and head up. It's just being calm and being strong. I thought that's really powerful. I said, mate, that's really powerful. And he said, you know, the other thing you could write is that, and it's something I'm trying to do in my life, is to approach everyone as if they're a really important person.
Did he say that as well?
He said that as well.
Man of wisdom.
So
it's really interesting.
I had the privilege of writing those things down for him and sticking them in the box. So I haven't looked at everything in the box yet. It's still a bit of a surprise, but we'll be doing that over the next week and setting up our big installation, which will be unveiled in our men's event next Wednesday.
I think it sounds more like a treasure chest.
Well, there will be treasure in it. There's no doubt about that.
Awesome. So if people want to come along, is it men only?
It's a men only event.
There you go. What can I ask? What they can expect? Is there food?
Great. So look, we're going to have a sausage sizzle, free sausage sizzle type food. So don't expect like a gourmet burger or anything if you come. But we'll have food there. It's at 5:00.
Yep.
Wednesday the 26th.
And do people have to let you know they're coming, or can they just rock up?
Pretty happy for people to just rock up. That's a bit of a risk, I guess, but if you want to let me know, you could do that.
Okay, just connect with us here at Nambour Community Centre, 54414724.
Awesome.
I think that's the phone number. And if you get a, you know, if it's not the phone number, then you'll just have to look it up.
And so a couple of other things we'll be doing, Anna, is so it'll go from 5 till 7 at the max. Really want to honour prime family time as well. Yeah. Because we want dads to be getting home and things like that after work. But we're going to have some local men sharing their story. Nice. So this isn't a celebrity event. It's actually local people sharing story with each other.
I thought you were a celebrity, Nick.
I will be after this video, Anna,
exactly.
I'm sure.
Nick will be here.
Social influencer.
So men sharing stories.
So men sharing story. I've got a bloke who's a well-known poet who's going to bring a poem around this topic. We're going to spend time engaging with all of this gold that we've mined over the month, what the community is asking from us, and we want that to be a powerful part of what we do. So we're going to ask men to actually move into that space and stand there and read what the community is saying. So what I'm envisaging men around, collected around this thing and actually go, okay, I'm going to encounter what my community wants from me. And hopefully it can be a really powerful motivator for men. The other thing that will happen, and without saying too much, is that I'm going to challenge every man. I'm going to say this, that every man can influence another man in this context. That from the community base of men in our community can step up and keep their eyes open around what's going on around them and influence men that are on the edge or moving towards domestic and family violence, or even those that are caught in that, and that men can influence other men. That is our prime influencer. Another man can influence a man like nothing else can. So that's going to be one of the challenges that we bring. And also that good men step up and speak out and become part of the solution to this traumatic and terrible thing that's going on in our nation with domestic and family violence.
Thank you so much for your time, Nick. I think your work's amazing and very important. So thanks for your energy in this work and for your time here today.
Awesome, Anna. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
So it's the 26th of May, a men's event. Come along, bring a friend with you. It's going to be a great night, 5 till 7 o'clock. See you there.